You set a goal, you write it down. Maybe you hit it, maybe you don't. Either way, 2 weeks later, you're back where you started. Same habits, same patterns, same quiet frustration that nothing actually changed. Here's what nobody tells you. The goal was never the problem. You were solving for the wrong thing. Goals feel productive. They give you something to aim at. A number on the scale, a dollar amount in your account, a deadline that makes you feel like you're in control. And that feeling, that sense of control, is exactly why we keep using them even when they don't work. But here's the truth. Goals are outcome-focused, and outcomes are only partially in your control. You can control your effort, your consistency, your decisions today. You can't control whether the market shifts, whether your body responds the way you hope, whether life throws you something you didn't plan for. So when you tie your sense of progress to an outcome, you're tying it to something you can't fully control. And that creates a cycle. You hit the goal, you feel good for a moment, then the feeling fades because nothing in your daily life actually changed. Or you miss the goal and you internalize it as failure, even if you showed up every single day. Either way, the goal disappears and you're left with the same behaviors that got you there. No foundation, no structure, just a brief spike of motivation or disappointment, and then back to baseline. This is why people lose the same 20 pounds 5 times. Why someone builds a business to 6 figures and then burns out and quits. Why you can hit a milestone and still feel like you're starting over. The goal gave you a target, but it didn't give you a life you can sustain. It didn't change who you are when no one's watching. And that's the only thing that actually matters. There's a concept in behavioral psychology called identity-based behavior. It comes from research into habit formation and was popularized by James Clear in his work on atomic habits, but the roots go deeper. The idea is simple. Your actions flow from your identity, not the identity you wish you had. The identity you actually believe is true about yourself right now. If you see yourself as someone who is trying to lose weight, your behavior will reflect that. You'll do the work when motivation is high. You'll skip it when it's not. You're operating from effort, not identity. But if you see yourself as someone who takes care of their body, the behavior changes. It's not about willpower anymore. It's about alignment. You're not fighting yourself. You're acting like the person you already believe you are. Goals don't build identity, they test it. And if the identity isn't there, the goal either breaks you or leaves you empty. Systems, on the other hand, build identity every single day. A system is a repeatable process. It's not about hitting a number. It's about becoming the kind of person who shows up. And every time you show up, you cast a vote for that identity. That's the language James Clear uses, votes. Small daily votes that compound over time. You don't need 100 votes to change. You need consistency. You need enough votes in the same direction that your brain starts to believe the new story. And once your brain believes it, the behavior becomes automatic. You stop needing discipline because you're not working against yourself anymore. You're just being who you are. That's the shift. That's what goals can't give you. Here's the difference. A goal says, I want to lose 20 pounds. A system says, I eat protein and vegetables at every meal. A goal says, I want to make $100,000 this year. A system says, I pitch 2 clients every Monday. I follow up every Thursday. I review my numbers every Sunday night. The goal is the scoreboard. The system is the game. And you can't control the scoreboard. You can only control how you play. When you focus on the system, you take your attention off the outcome and put it where it belongs, on the thing you can actually do today. This is not about lowering your standards. It's about raising your floor. A goal gives you a ceiling to reach for. A system gives you a foundation to stand on. And the foundation is what carries you when things get hard, when motivation runs out, when life doesn't go the way you planned. The system doesn't care if you feel like it. It just asks, Did you show up? You can't control results, but you can control your repetitions. There's a frustrating truth about systems. They don't pay off right away. You can do the right things for weeks and see nothing. No weight loss, no revenue, no visible proof that it's working. And that gap between effort and evidence is where most people quit. James Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential. You're putting in work, but the results are delayed. They're building under the surface, like ice melting 1 degree at a time. Nothing happens at 30 degrees, nothing at 31. Then at 32, it melts. All at once. But it wasn't the last degree that did it. It was all of them. That's what systems do. They accumulate. But they accumulate invisibly. And if you're judging progress by outcomes, you'll think nothing is happening. You'll bail before the melt. But if you're judging progress by whether you followed the system, you stay in the game. You stop asking, is this working? And start asking, did I do the thing? And that question, that shift in measurement, changes everything. Because now you're winning every day. Not because you hit the goal, but because you kept the promise. And that builds belief. Not hope. Belief. The kind that doesn't need proof from the outside because it's coming from the inside. Progress is not always visible, but it is always cumulative. Every action you take is a signal to yourself about who you are. You don't just do things, you become things. You go to the gym once, you're someone who worked out. You go 50 times, you're someone who trains. The behavior creates the identity, and the identity reinforces the behavior. That's the loop. Most people try to change from the outside in. They want the outcome first, then they'll believe they're that kind of person. But it works the other way. You have to act like the person first. You have to behave your way into the identity. And systems let you do that. Because systems aren't about being perfect. They're about being consistent. And consistency is the only proof your brain will accept. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You need to stack enough small actions in the same direction that your brain starts to believe the new story. I'm the kind of person who writes every morning. I'm the kind of person who keeps my word. I'm the kind of person who doesn't need permission to start. That story, that identity, is built one system at a time. And once it's built, you don't have to force anything. You just show up as who you are. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems and rise to your identity. Goals seduce you with speed. Systems ask you to trust time. And most people can't do that. They want the transformation now, the proof now, the payoff now. So they chase shortcuts. They switch strategies every month. They look for the hack, the secret, the thing that makes it faster. And they waste years not because they didn't work hard, but because they didn't work long. A system is a long game. It's boring. It's repetitive. It doesn't look impressive on day 3, but on day 300, it's undeniable. The person who writes 200 words a day for a year has a 70,000-word book. The person who saves $50 a week has $2,600. The person who walks 30 minutes every morning has moved over 90 hours. None of that happens because of motivation. It happens because of structure, and structure doesn't burn out. It doesn't depend on how you feel. It just runs. Day after day, week after week, until the person you're becoming is so far ahead of the person you were that you don't even recognize the old version. That's the power of systems. They don't spike, they compound. And compounding is the only force strong enough to change your life for good. Time doesn't care about your feelings, it only rewards your systems. Here's what to do. Pick one area of your life where you've been chasing a goal and getting nowhere. Now forget the goal. Don't delete it. Just stop measuring yourself by it. Instead, ask this: what does the kind of person who reaches that goal do every single day? Write that down. Not the outcome, the action, the behavior, the system. Then commit to it for 30 days. Not to see if it works, just to see if you can become the kind of person who keeps their word to themselves. That's it. That's the shift. You're not trying to lose 20 pounds. You're becoming someone who moves their body and eats like they matter. You're not trying to build a business. You're becoming someone who ships work and learns from feedback. The goal might still happen, but now it's a byproduct, not a finish line. And that changes the entire game. Because the finish line disappears, and the system stays. You set a goal, you write it down. Maybe you hit it, maybe you don't. But this time, it's different. Because you're not measuring yourself by the outcome anymore. You're measuring yourself by the promise. And every day you keep it, you become a little more convinced that you're the kind of person who doesn't need permission, doesn't need proof, doesn't need perfection. You just need the system. And the system, if you let it, will carry you farther than any goal ever could. Not because it's flashy, because it's faithful. And faithful is what builds a life.